something has moved into my laptop. Something is happening, and I can't explain any of it. It started 3 nights ago. At first, it was small. So small, I almost ignored it. My laptop turned on by itself. I remember waking up around 3 a.m., not because of a sound, but because of light. That cold, bluish glow. I opened my eyes, and the room was completely dark, except for my desk. My laptop screen was on. Just on. I was sure I had shut it down before going to sleep. I always do. For a few seconds, I didn't move. I just stared at it from my bed. The screen wasn't showing anything unusual. Just the desktop. No videos, no pop-ups. Nothing. Still, something felt wrong. You know that feeling. When something is off, but you can't explain why. That's exactly what it was. I got up slowly. The floor creaked under my feet, louder than usual in the silence. As I got closer, the light from the screen hit my face. Cold, unnatural. I moved the mouse. The cursor didn't move. I frowned. I touched the touchpad again. Nothing. Then suddenly, the cursor twitched, just a little, like someone else was holding it. I froze. My hand slowly pulled away, and the cursor moved again. Not randomly, not like a glitch. It moved, deliberately, across the screen. Slow, controlled, like someone was learning how to use it. My heart started beating faster. I didn't touch anything. I just watched. The cursor opened a folder, not one I recognized. I don't remember creating it. There was no name, just an empty white icon. It opened. Inside, there was only one file. A video, no title, no thumbnail, just a blank file. I whispered to myself, "What the hell is that?" I didn't click it. I didn't want to. But the cursor moved again, and before I could react, it clicked. The screen went black. For a second, I thought my laptop crashed. Then the video started. It was dark, grainy, like security footage. At first, I couldn't understand what I was looking at. Then I realized it was my room. From the corner near the ceiling, a place where there is no camera. My stomach dropped. The video showed my bed and me, sleeping. Exactly how I had been just minutes ago. Same position, same blanket, same angle. I felt cold, really cold. I looked around the room. There was nothing there, no camera, no device, nothing that could have recorded that. I looked back at the screen. The video continued. For a while, nothing happened, just me sleeping. Then, something moved at the edge of the frame, near the door. At first, I thought it was a shadow, but shadows don't move like that. This one bent, slowly, unnaturally, like joints that don't exist. My breathing got heavier. The thing didn't fully step into the frame. It just stayed half visible, like it didn't want to be seen completely, or like it couldn't. Then it moved closer to the bed, closer to me, closer to where I was sleeping in the video. I couldn't move. I couldn't even blink. The figure leaned down, and for a split second, the screen glitched, a sharp distortion, like the image was tearing. And in that moment, I saw something I wish I hadn't. Not a face, not human, just something wrong, something that didn't belong inside a body. The video cut to black. My reflection appeared on the screen, pale, frozen. Then, a new window opened, a message typed slowly, letter by letter. "I saw you wake up." My chest tightened. I stepped back. The room suddenly felt smaller, like the walls were closer. Another message appeared. "You're not supposed to see this." I shook my head. No, 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 no. I grabbed the laptop, closed it, hard. The sound echoed in the room. Silence. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then, From inside the closed laptop, I heard something, a faint sound, like fingers, slowly sliding across glass. I let go of it immediately. My hands were shaking. I backed away. And that's when I noticed the laptop was still glowing, even though it was closed. And something inside was still moving. I didn't sleep after that. I couldn't. I just sat there, staring at the laptop, closed, but still glowing. That faint light leaking through the edges, like something inside was still awake, watching, waiting. I told myself it was a glitch, a virus, some kind of malware, something explainable. It had to be. But deep down, I knew it wasn't, because computers don't do that. They don't move on their own. They don't open files. They don't show you videos that were never recorded. I backed away slowly, step by step. Like if I moved too fast, something would react. The room felt wrong, too quiet. Even the usual sounds, the pipes, the fridge, the distant cars, they were gone. Like everything had stopped, except that thing inside the laptop. I grabbed my phone. My hands were shaking so much I almost dropped it. I opened the camera, pointed it at the laptop. I don't even know why. Maybe I wanted proof, or maybe I was afraid to look at it directly again. The screen of my phone showed the desk, the laptop, closed, still glowing faintly. Nothing else. For a moment, I felt stupid, like I was overreacting. Then, the glow changed. It pulsed, very slightly, like breathing. My heart skipped. I zoomed in. The light under the lid flickered, just for a second. And I swear, I saw movement. Not a reflection, not a shadow. Something behind the screen. I stepped back. No, no, no! My voice sounded chujim, dry, unstable. I lowered the phone, and that's when it happened. The laptop made a sound, a soft click, like something inside just shifted position. Then another and another, slow, precise, like fingers tapping from the inside. I froze. Every muscle in my body locked. The lid of the laptop moved, just slightly. A tiny gap opened, no more than a centimeter. The light inside became brighter, stronger, colder. It spilled into the room like liquid. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. My eyes were fixed on that gap. And then, something touched the edge from the inside. I didn't see it clearly, just a shape, thin, too thin, like a finger, but wrong, longer than it should be, bent at an angle that made no sense. It pressed lightly against the lid, testing it, slowly pushing. The gap widened. I stumbled backward. My foot hit the chair. The noise echoed, and the thing stopped. Everything went still, dead still. Then, the laptop slammed shut, hard. The light disappeared instantly. Darkness, complete silence. For a few seconds, nothing happened. I stood there, trying to understand if I just imagined everything. Then my phone buzzed, loud, too loud. I almost dropped it. A message, unknown number, no name, just text. I told you not to look. My chest tightened again. I stared at the screen. Another message appeared. You made it curious. My fingers went cold. What do you mean? I whispered. No response. For a moment, I thought it was over. That maybe, whatever it was, had stopped. Then the laptop turned on again, by itself. The screen lit up, even though it was closed. Light bleeding through the edges, brighter than before, stronger. And then, a sound, from inside, not tapping anymore, not scratching, something else. A slow, wet breathing sound, like something was trying to learn how to breathe. I backed away until I hit the wall. I didn't take my eyes off it. I couldn't. The sound got louder, heavier, strained. And then suddenly, it stopped. Complete silence. My phone vibrated again. Another message. This time, just 3 words. It sees you now. And at that exact moment, the laptop screen cracked open. Just a little. And from the darkness inside, something moved closer. I couldn't move. Not because I didn't want to. My body just stopped responding. Like something inside me decided it was safer not to move at all. The laptop lid stayed slightly open, just enough for the darkness inside to feel deeper than it should. It wasn't normal darkness. It didn't look like the inside of a device. It looked empty, endless, like there was space behind the screen that shouldn't exist. I stared at it, and it stared back. I couldn't see eyes. I couldn't see a face, but I knew. Something inside was looking directly at me. My throat felt dry. I tried to speak. Who is there? My voice barely came out. Weak, shaking. For a second, nothing happened. Then the screen inside the laptop flickered. Not fully turning on, just reacting, like it heard me. The light pulsed again, slow, breathing. And then, something moved closer to the opening. I saw it more clearly this time. Not fully, never fully, just parts. A shape, a limb. Too long, too thin, and bending in ways that made my stomach twist. It wasn't stepping out, it was adjusting, like it was trying to understand how to fit through. My heart started pounding again, louder, faster. I took a step back, and that's when the phone vibrated again. I didn't want to look, but I had to. Message, same number. Don't let it out. I froze. What do you mean, don't let it out? My eyes snapped back to the laptop. Too late. The lid opened a little more, a quiet creak. Slow, careful, like it was learning how to move objects in this world. The gap widened, and something slipped through. Just the tip, like a finger, but not human. The surface of it looked wrong. Too smooth in some places, too stretched in others, like skin that didn't belong. It touched the desk, lightly, testing. Then it pressed down, leaving a faint mark. I stepped back again. My back hit the wall. I had nowhere else to go. The thing inside paused. Then another part appeared. A second finger. Then a third. They moved slowly, dragging themselves out. Not climbing, not crawling, just sliding. Like they didn't fully understand gravity yet. The sound they made was unbearable. A soft, wet friction. Like something being pulled across glass. I covered my mouth, trying not to make a sound. Because somehow, I knew. If I made noise, it would react. The fingers reached further onto the desk. Spreading, feeling, searching. And then they stopped, all at once, completely still. My heart pounded in my ears. The room felt smaller again, tighter, like the air was being pulled toward the laptop. Then slowly, very slowly, the fingers turned toward me. I felt it before it moved. That shift, that attention. It wasn't just exploring anymore. It had found something. Me. I shook my head. No. No, no. I slid sideways along the wall, trying to stay quiet, trying to create distance. But the moment I moved, the fingers reacted. Fast, too fast. They jerked forward, stretching, extending further than they should, reaching. The laptop lid snapped open wider, and for a split second, I saw more of it. Not a body, not a face, just layers, wrong layers, like something built incorrectly, something not meant for this space. I gasped, and that was enough. The thing lunged, not fully out, but far enough. The fingers slammed onto the desk, hard, closer now, much closer. I turned and ran, straight for the door. My hand grabbed the handle, I pulled. It didn't open. I pulled again. Nothing. It was stuck. Or locked. I don't know. Behind me, the sound grew louder. Dragging, scraping, getting closer. I didn't look back. I couldn't. My hand shook on the handle. "Open!" I shouted, still nothing. Then, my phone vibrated again, in my hand. I looked down. One new message. "If it touches you, it stays." My blood ran cold. Slowly, I turned my head, just enough to look behind me. The thing had moved further out. Much further. The fingers were now halfway across the desk, stretching, reaching, and right at the edge. They stopped, just inches away from the floor, from reaching me, like something invisible was holding it back. For now, the laptop screen flickered wildly, glitching, distorting, and through the broken light, I saw movement inside. More of them. Waiting, trying, pushing against the inside. The message on my phone changed. One last line. "Close it. Now." My fingers tightened around the door handle. "Close it. Now." The words echoed in my head. I didn't want to move. Didn't want to get closer to it. Every instinct in my body screamed the same thing. Stay away. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. But the thing on the desk was already moving again. The moment I hesitated, it stretched further, longer, closer, like it could feel my fear, feeding on it. The tips of those fingers twitched, testing the air, searching. They were learning, fast, too fast. I swallowed hard. If I didn't close it, it would come out, all the way. And something deep inside me knew, if that happened, there would be no stopping it. I forced myself to turn. Slowly, every step felt wrong, heavy, like I was walking toward something I was never supposed to face. The desk was right there, too close. The laptop screen flickered wildly now, glitching, distorting. The light wasn't just leaking anymore, it was pouring out, like something inside was pushing against it, trying to break through. The fingers jerked again, reacting to my movement. They stretched toward me, then stopped. Right at the edge of the desk, like an invisible line they couldn't cross. Not yet. I stepped closer. One more step. My hand lifted, shaking, reaching for the lid. The moment my fingers got near it, everything changed. The screen inside flashed white, blinding. The fingers slammed against the desk. Hard, violent, and the sound was no longer soft. It was desperate, aggressive, like it knew what I was about to do. "No," I whispered. "I'm ending this." I grabbed the lid. Cold, unnaturally cold, like touching metal in freezing weather, and I pushed it down. The reaction was instant. The thing lunged, the fingers stretched, farther than before, too far. One of them almost reached my wrist. I felt the air shift, like something brushed past my skin. I slammed the lid harder. Halfway closed, and something got stuck. A sharp resistance. The screen flickered violently. The light pulsed like a heartbeat. Fast, panicked, the fingers started thrashing, hitting the desk, dragging, scraping, trying to pull back. Or push through. I don't know which. "Close it! Close it!" The message flashed on my phone again. I pushed harder. The lid pressed down, and then something inside shifted. A sound, not mechanical, not digital, something alive, something that didn't belong. The resistance gave way, and the laptop slammed shut, hard. The light disappeared instantly. Silence, complete. I stood there, breathing heavily, my hands still on the laptop, waiting, listening. Nothing, no movement, no sound. no light. It was over. It had to be. I stepped back slowly. My legs felt weak, like they could give out any second. I stared at the laptop. Closed, still, normal, too normal. I let out a shaky breath. "It's done," I whispered. My phone buzzed. I flinched. Another message, same number. I looked at the screen. 3 words. "You were too slow." My stomach dropped. "No!" I turned back to the desk. The laptop wasn't completely closed. Just a tiny gap, barely visible. And from that gap, something thin was slowly sliding out. Not fingers this time. Something else. Something longer. Heavier. It touched the desk, then the floor. A soft, wet sound. My heart started racing again. No, no, no. I stepped back. But it didn't stop. More of it came out. Slow, steady, unstoppable. And then it made a sound. Not breathing, not movement. A voice, distorted, broken, like it was trying to copy something human. "Key." My blood froze. It was learning. It was already here. And the laptop was no longer the only place it existed. I couldn't breathe. Not because it was choking me, because I understood something. Too late. It wasn't trying to get out. Not really. It didn't need to. It already had. The thing on the floor was moving. Slow, heavy, dragging itself fully into the room. Not like a body. Not like anything alive I've ever seen. It didn't have a clear shape. It kept changing, stretching, folding, correcting itself. Like it was still figuring out how to exist here. The part that came out of the laptop was only a piece, a fragment. And behind it, there was more. Still inside, still coming. My back hit the wall again. I had nowhere left to go. The door still wouldn't open. The window, I didn't even want to look at it. Because I knew. Deep down, it wasn't outside. It was here, with me. The thing stopped moving, right in the middle of the room. Then, slowly, it lifted part of itself. Not a head, not a face, but something that acted like one. Turning toward me, locking onto me. That same feeling again, being watched, but stronger, closer, inside my chest. My thoughts started racing. No, this isn't real. But it was. It took another movement forward, closer. I could hear it now, not just breathing. Something else. A sound beneath the sound. Like layers, like multiple voices stacked on top of each other. Trying to form words, trying to imitate. Then, it spoke. Clearer this time. Still wrong, still broken, but understandable. "You looked..." My entire body went cold. "You opened it." The voice glitched, shifted, like it was pulling sounds from somewhere else. "Now, we can..." It stopped. The shape trembled, adjusted, and then it continued. "Stay." My heart dropped. "We..." The laptop behind it flickered again, even though it was closed. The lid began to shake, soft at first, then harder, like something inside was trying to force it open again. More of them, waiting, pushing. The thing in the room moved closer. Now only a few steps away. Close enough to touch me. I tried to slide sideways. Escape. But it mirrored me, perfectly, blocking, learning, adapting. "You watched," it whispered again. "So now, you stay." My phone slipped from my hand, hit the floor. The screen lit up one last time. A final message. "I can't help you anymore." The thing twitched. Then suddenly, it moved fast. Faster than before. Too fast to react. Something shot out from it. Not a hand. Not a limb. Just a piece of it. It hit my chest. Cold, wet, wrong. I gasped. My body locked instantly. I couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't even blink. It spread, across my skin, up my neck, into my face. I could feel it, not on me, inside me. My vision started to distort. The room stretched, twisted, glitched, like the laptop screen. And then I saw it. Not the room, not the walls, not myself. Something else. A space, dark, endless. And inside it, movement. Many of them, watching, waiting, learning, just like it did. My thoughts slowed. My fear started to fade, replaced by something else. Something colder, quieter. A thought that didn't feel like mine. Now you see, my mouth moved, without me. Now you stay. The last thing I saw was my own room, from a different angle, from the desk, facing the bed, facing the door, like something else was looking through me, waiting for the next person to open the laptop.